I was sitting at home one night and a friend had pointed this event out to me, and I thought, well, I'll write out an application. I didn't really have much to do that night, not really expecting the response I got.
And you're in, and it's a pretty small group, isn't it?
It is a small group, only 200 pilots from around the globe, and some extraordinary mountaineers and pilots. It's a bit of an elite class that I'm amongst, so I'm very nervous about the whole situation, yeah.
I know you've been really passionate about your flying since you took it up, but you have only been doing it a couple of years. How are you feeling about getting to where you need to be by February?
It's a challenge. Look, from the second that I got the response that said, you're in, my heart stopped for a good minute then, and since then it's been going flat out. So the adrenaline rush has been huge, because it wasn't just about the event, Tash, it was about 8 months of your life, and a commitment to getting prepared for it physically, mentally, and as you're aware of as well, raising money for charity is not an easy task, especially in today's climate, and raising money and putting, you know, all of this together is big.
What's led you down this path? Why do you think it's a worthwhile thing to do?
The charities are amazing, first of all. The charity not only helps a small community that is suffering extreme poverty, but it benefits the planet and it benefits the atmosphere. And as you know, I'm all about the atmosphere. The atmosphere is not bound by state, border, territory or country. If you do something for the planet and the atmosphere, it's a global situation. So I loved that about the whole thing.
It really dovetails really well into your profession, doesn't it, as a weather person, because you're going to have to call upon everything that you know to make this flight successful.
It really is. This sport has taught me a lot about what I do in a microclimate sense. And I was very, very nervous about taking up the sport in the first place because I understood what happens over our heads. And it's a pretty scary place to be when you understand what it's capable of doing, let alone it's 6,000 metres, you know, it's just below 6 kilometres above our heads. It's an extraordinary place to be with this behind you, you know, it's a bit of string and a bit of tissue paper kind of thing, and your feet are dangling, so it's an extraordinary place to be, and it's not at all really the place that humans are supposed to be, but it is incredibly rewarding. There's going to be a huge amount of work towards one moment, and that is the launch. Understanding that at 19,000 feet, it's half the Earth's atmosphere. My body's going to be oxygen starved, therefore decisions are going to be somewhat cloudy. I'll be physically exhausted after a 6-7 day climb to the summit. So it's going to be a very dangerous moment, and everything's going to come down to that minute, that 30 seconds of getting off the mountain safely and getting away from the mountain and then not running into clouds. So it's everything. It's mental, it's physical, and it is a dangerous point to push yourself to. So yeah, it's all working up to that one moment.
How often are you thinking about that moment when your feet are no longer touching the ground, touching the mountain, and you're just flying off there?
I think there's going to be a huge amount of relief once I'm safely away from the mountain, because there's certain things then that I can be in control of. I can be in control of moving away from any form of storm formation that is below me possibly, you know, because I'll be able to watch the clouds and observe what is occurring. Clouds are great because you actually get to see what the atmosphere is doing. Below the cloud line, that is a dangerous place because there can be a lot going on, but you can't see it because you know, the atmosphere hasn't reached dew point or its condensation point, so it's invisible. So getting away from the mountain is going to be a huge relief. Then I have to deal with about -20, -30 wind chill factor for a while, and then I have to come down, and the lower I get, then I have to start dealing with the bubbles and the thermals and possible storm or overdevelopment, and then safely landing and getting down without injuring myself, and then making sure that I don't land near a pride of lions and get eaten just as I get my feet on the ground. That's a bit of a concern as well. Is it madness? There is a part of it that is, you know, why am I doing it? You know, like, am I mad? Is it silly? Is it out of my league? You know, but you know, it's living. You know, I think there's some great quotes, you know, that, you know, we fly to live and to soak up life, and this is a part of it. one of the big parts about my decision was when I was trying to make the decision, should I commit, should I not, I felt worse about the thought if I would say no to this opportunity than what I would if I had said yes. And that was the point that I went, I have to say yes.
If you don't take this opportunity now, it's not going to happen again.
That's right, yeah, this is it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The Tanzanian government has never allowed anyone legally to fly from the summit, so they've issued just 200 permits for this one-off event to raise money for two great charities, two great causes. And it's a massive event. The founders and the organisers, what they've gone through over the past 5 years just to get to this point is extraordinary. And now we're coming into the peak of it over the next 8 months. So to be there and to be amongst some of the people that I'm going to be around and meet some of the contacts that I'm going to meet, yeah, it will never ever happen again. This is beyond once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's rarer than a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yeah, well, I've already locked in a beautiful luncheon at Macquarie Dale on October 6th, so please, yeah, keep that date in mind. We'd love for people to join us. It's not a big one, it's going to be quite intimate, so that's at Macquarie Dale Wines. That's the first thing I've got locked in, so working with that, putting that together, as well as trying to get my fitness training up, and also working with Godfrey Winness, who's an absolute legend. He's my mentor and teacher through all of this, to go through a lot of rigorous training for that moment to ensure that that launch is done perfectly, with another 199 pilots around me all trying to get off the mountain in what will probably be a very small window of time. So there's a huge amount of work to be done over the next 7 months.